Hi and welcome to our very first employability skills video box. We're going to kick things off with a 7 video mini-series which is going to be focused completely on career redirection. Now, career redirection is where someone, for whatever circumstances, needs to start and think about a new job or career. And that could be quite a dramatic change, or it could even be just a less dramatic and more subtle change. There are various reasons why people might have to go through career redirection. It could be to do with health, be that physical or mental. It could be personal circumstances. It could be for family reasons, or it could be just because they're looking for something different. They're ready to move on. And when people are going to go through career redirection, for whatever circumstances, it's really important that they do their research, get that preparation, lay the groundwork before making that move. Because changing careers and changing jobs is a big thing, and it's got to be done in the correct manner. Now, I think of a 3-point checklist whenever I'm talking to people about careers. And I'm thinking about enjoyable, fulfilling, and sustainable. So let's break them down a little bit. Enjoyable. It's quite simple, actually. It puts a smile on your face. You quite like going there. It's a bit much sometimes to think that someone would actually love going to work, because not everyone's got that relationship with work. But you certainly enjoy going there. You know, you quite like that. The next bit is fulfilling. Does it give you challenges and opportunities and leave you feeling valued? To give you that all-round fulfillment, that you've got a purpose there, and that you are being pushed to the level of which you are comfortable with. And then the third one is sustainable. Is this something that is sustainable for you and the others around you as well? It's not just about you when it comes to looking at what jobs you're going to work towards. Is it sustainable in the medium to long term? Now, sustainable, in my area of work, we often talk about physically and mentally sustainable, but there's other factors to take into account as well. It may be sustainable financially in terms of the job that you're doing. You know, can I stay on this salary or this wage for longer than the short term? It could be things related to stuff like travel, or actually you know, the environment itself. Is it kind of long-term security, or is it more contract work? So my 3-point checklist: enjoyable, fulfilling, sustainable. That is really important when you're starting to identify the next role for yourself. Now, this 3-point checklist is great, and it's important that whatever role we choose to do, in my mind, you know, hits these 3 points. But first of all, we've got to start and think about what it is we actually want to do. And before we start to even think about job titles, job roles, careers, different sectors, different industries, things like that, it's a good idea to get a sense of what's important to you in the next job. So is it things like stability, creativity, autonomy, teamwork? It could be things like leadership opportunities, security, potential for doing some traveling within the next role. Start and have a think about what it is that you want from that role. What is really important for you? Perhaps stuff that are missing from the job that you're doing right now, or things that, you know, you've got a certain level of that in your current role, but you would wish to seek more of that. And list these. Put them down on paper. Start and think about what is it next I want from that job. And put that in order of priority as well. You know, give it some kind of ranking. Give it some thought. Remember, changing careers is a big step, because it's something we have invested into. So it's important that we do the right research before we go out and action things. And the next stage is to start doing something we call the career ladder. And this isn't me introducing something that's groundbreaking. It's quite a commonly used format, to be honest. But I think it's really simple, and it works well for me, because it gives different steps, but it doesn't overburden. And the career ladder, we have at the top of the rung dream roles. And they're the kind of jobs whereby, you know what, we really do enjoy them. They're linked with my personality, my values, my longer term goals, and my interests. It's something that I'm proud to do and I hold dearly. It doesn't mean to say you are not going to have challenges, by the way. I often hear people say, do a job you love and you'll never feel like you do another day's work again for the rest of your life. If only life was that simple, to be honest, but it isn't. If you are in a dream job, and I've come across plenty of people who've dreamed to be in that job that they're in, who still have hard days, they still have challenges, they still have moments where they feel as though, was this the right choice for me? That is normal in life in general. If it's a dream role, though, you've probably got a bit more resilience and determination to get through them tougher periods. Just underneath that, we have what we call transitional. So this could be things like apprenticeships, training opportunities, but I always think of other things like attending insight days or doing work experience or volunteering. Anything that helps us to kind of start working towards a new goal. Even things like short courses that are available online, really important, they're a big part of it. And just below that, we have entry-level roles. Now, these may not necessarily be what we call or associate with dream roles. They might not be something you've always aspired to do, but they're certainly a great opportunity. And they will offer the correct package for the level of responsibility and the type of work that you're doing. They will have the correct values and within the culture of the company, a structure in place, support if you need it, but also opportunities for things like progression or secondments or learning and development. These are really important. Entry-level roles is probably the one that we come across most often, to be honest. And just below that, we have at the bottom of the rung, exactly where it belongs, survival type roles. These are the kind of jobs that you would only do if absolutely necessary and for a short period of time. And we've all got our own versions of everything on the ladder, by the way, but certainly at the bottom of that rung as to what we'd be prepared to do if absolutely needed. As I said, they're nothing more than a short term, certainly not medium to long term, because if we go back to that 3-point checklist of enjoyable, fulfilling and sustainable, I would suspect they're probably none of them, to be honest. So we shouldn't be looking at anything beyond the short term. Have a think about that career ladder. Write down some ideas for yourself. Have a bit of a think about what it is that you would really enjoy doing. What could help you to achieve that? But also, what would be a great opportunity if it was an entry-level role, and what are the kind of things you would only do if absolutely necessary? So that dream, transitional, entry-level and survival type roles. And you don't have to be specific with this. You can be as generic as you want with it. So some people might say, I've always wanted to work as a veterinary nurse, for instance. For someone else, it may well be, I would like a career working with animals. So we've gone from specific to very general. For some people, they might say, I've always wanted to become a bricklayer. Someone else, it may well be, I'd like to work within construction. Again, we've gone from specific to generic. There's no right or wrong. If you've got very specific ideas, brilliant. But it may well be just various industries or sectors that really appeal to you. Get them down on the list. Spend a little bit of time doing this. Have a think about it. And just to finish up with, we had a question come through on email around how can you identify your skills if you've been in a job for a long time. And I thought that was a great question actually for us to introduce the next video, which will be out in a week's time, and that will be focused on identifying your transferable skills. Any questions, any thoughts, any comments, please just drop them in the comments at the bottom, or feel free to get in touch with us.